Okay. I'm multitasking. Give me a minute. I'm telling someone I'm live right now. Hopefully I have someone in chat to keep me company. Okay. So this is a very impromptu live. You hear me? Very impromptu live of, I'll just share the screen of the event first, and then we know what we're talking about.
Candidates debate on disability issues in the federal general election Tuesday, April 8, 2025, 7:30 p.m. - 9 p.m. in person and online. On Tuesday, April 8, 2025, from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a candidates debate on disability issues for the federal election will be held at the CNIB in Toronto. Live attendants welcome. It will also be streamed live on the internet and will be hosted by Toronto Star reporter David Ryder. This event is being organized by a consortium of disability organizations: Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act Alliance, Arch Disability Law Centre, Centre for Independent Living in Toronto, CNIB, Community Living Toronto, Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, Oasis, Autism Ontario, Ontario Autism Coalition, Canada, Empowered Kids Ontario, March of Dimes and RENA. This is a nonpartisan event. We want voters to know where the parties stand on issues that are important to people with disabilities, their families and loved ones. The Conservatives, NDP, Green Party, Bloc Québécois and Liberals have all been invited to designate a candidate to represent their party, in person. Please note, CNIB is fully accessible. Light refreshments will be available. Attendant care, live captioning and American Sign Language interpretation will also be available. There is paid on-site parking. Click on Reserve a Spot to register and submit any accommodations. A link to the webcast will be sent to all registrants on April 7th. Please note registration closes at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 8th.
Okay, so that was my natural reader. I've been using it a lot lately. It's been helping me faster with comprehension. So I attended the virtual session of the candidates debate on disability issues in the federal general election. It was tonight, 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern. Over 375 people were attending the Zoom chat room. So the chat room was very busy. And I also attended the provincial disability event from the same organization on the same EventBrite page. It still echoes the same thing of why I'm doing my live stream now, where I called it the Disability Debate Ignored Us. It's time to talk about Black disabled Canadians. So I don't know if you notice, I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black Canadian woman where my parents are both Jamaican with African, Indian, Chinese heritage. Yes, there's also German, British, and Scottish in the family tree. But when I move through the world, I'm a Black woman. And when I move through my professional career, I'm a Black woman. When I move through the medical system, I'm a Black woman. Any form I fill out and they ask, what is my nationality, heritage? I always choose Black, African, Caribbean. Oh yeah, I'm Black. Just to make that clear. So the panel in the beginning had technical issues, which is suspected with 375 people in a Zoom room, all trying to tune in, and most of the people tuning in on Zoom needed closed captionings, the ASL interpreter. Zoom has a lot of features. Zoom has transcript, it has closed captionings, and it had the ASL interpreter, and also it was streaming on YouTube as well. For all technical purposes, all the technology involved tonight was working, and which was great. Like, everything was working the way it was supposed to be working for tonight, technology wise, at least me as a person who does not need all of the assisted technical devices all of the time. Like, me using the natural reader at the beginning, it's just so that I hear what's written instead of me trying to read. Me reading is a lot slower, but if I hear what's written, I catch the grammatical mistakes in the writing. That's why earlier me introducing the show was me having the natural reader read you the event. And the panel discussion, so every panel discussion they have for disability issues, they always invite all of the parties. And I've come to become accustomed to conservative parties not showing up. That's just how I roll. I know they don't show up. Then Liberal Party, she tuned in with Zoom. Trying to remember her name. I just Googled it. Let me find it. Leanne Coulter. She's in Thornhill, Liberal Party. She's a Liberal Party representative. She was unwell, so she tuned in with Zoom, which is very, very nice of her. But the way the questions were asked in the panel, they felt like they were easier questions for the panel discussion. To the point where each time they would ask a question, majority of the time was asking questions of the people that were in person in the room. From what I can tell, they maybe asked one or two questions from the Zoom chat room, even though they let us know that we're allowed to raise our hand and ask a question. We can ask questions in chat, or we can ask questions to the moderator who would filter out the questions. And I get it. 375 people in the Zoom room all trying to ask a question on disability issues is a lot to manage. But my thing was, as the evening went on, 90 minutes or so, not one of the questions were related to intersectionality of people with disabilities. And I'm always looking for, are they going to answer the Black BIPOC questions of people with disabilities? Because, move something, that scared me. I'm always looking for that. I'm a Canadian who's Black. I'm born here, but I'm Black. So that means no matter where I move through, people see my Blackness first. Then, when I tell them where I'm from, where I went to school, all my history, just giving them all my business, then they know I'm Canadian. Hey, Fitness IQ Cam, glad you're up and not doing accounting stuff right now. You can be here. Yeah, so I'm talking about the panel discussion. So I attended virtually to the federal candidate debate on disability issues because there's an election coming up. As if you saw the description for, wait, is that me? What happened? Let me move my camera. Let me move it to this. I don't need to show that anymore. I had the natural reader read out the description. It was nice. And that part you can probably watch on the replay and things like that. Okay. So where am I? I almost had a heart attack. Yeah, my questions. So questions in chat that I asked. I had so me and my chat GPT were really, really besties. My chat GPT speaks in a British white girl voice, but she fully knows I only talk about Black, disabled, sex work issues. I trained this thing for 4 months to understand the issues and topics and belief systems I have. So one of the questions I asked, I had ChatGPT populate. So I asked it to populate 5 questions. I'm speaking at this debate. What 5 questions could I ask it? And it's because everything in my ChatGPT history is everything I talk about. Disability benefits, entrepreneurship, Black and disabled, working as a webcam model in the adult entertainment industry. Everything is like that. So these 5 questions came out really nice in real time about an hour ago. So first question I had to ask was, what is your party's plan to address the intersectional barriers faced by Black Canadians with disabilities beyond performative statements? I really like how ChatGPT put that question together. I really do. It's really, really nice. Then I have it ask this question: how will your party ensure that Black Canadians with disabilities are not left behind in federal disability policies and funding? Now, the beauty of this question, I've been participating a lot in a Shea Community Foundation for Black Disabled Canadians, and I did the leadership training for Race and Disability Canada. I've been doing monthly episodes on the Dr. Vibe show. So everything I could talk about a Black and disability, I'm talking about for a whole year. All the time. Like, I don't even know how not to have that conversation now. So the funding question popped up because in the meetings I've been in, I'm learning that Black representatives with disabilities that are organized will go to the different panel discussions and different meetings and different community things, consultations for the disability benefits and all the things that we're accessing, but we're not allowed in the room. We're not allowed to even talk about our issues. We're completely ignored in political office. And these are people that I just met recently telling me that, hey, I'm trying my best to be in the room, and they're telling me to keep quiet and sit down. It's 2025. It's 2025. Black people are like half the world's population. Oh yeah, we all come from Africa. All of us. Why? Like, my brain can't process why in 2025 we are still ignoring Black issues. Yeah, plus all the other stuff I have to deal with my work, life, living, when people talk about me in my building, all those things. So then the other question I had my ChatGPT populate was, what measurable actions will your party take to include the voices of Black disabled Canadians in shaping national disability strategies? That's three. We're at 3 questions it asked. Not a one was asked by the moderator to the panel. Not a one. But the Zoom chat, some of my questions had, you know how they can do little reactions in the Zoom room to people's comments and stuff? One of them had 12 in the chat room of Zoom of other participants and like attendees listening to the debate. One of them I know is definitely from a Black male because we're in a mutual community event. I see him around all the time. Wait, I can't barely see chat. Hold on. Yeah, I agree with you. It's 2025. Something should be obvious. For white people, especially white politicians, it's not. And I could point it out to them, but I'm tired. And my political leader from my neighborhood, she's Asian. She used to be unhoused. She's actually a they, and sorry for using the wrong pronouns. And I met the lady. She gave me a hug. They gave me a hug. She remembered my face. Her office answers my constituents' issues. When I write letters of like December and November 2024, when I was having issues with ODSP in the mail, delivering my payment to pay my rent, her office listened to me for like 90 minutes in a phone conversation. And then when they knock on the door doing canvassing for votes and stuff, they listen the whole time and take notes. It's fantastic. If I have to go to a different political party with my issues as a constituent Canadian, living in Ontario, in my neighborhood. I don't want to. It's only because the way the parties operate, when I see them operating in parliament or debates or discussions, or if I'm like one election one year, I was there for consultations on the disability stuff when Doug Ford was going for it the second time. And I'm there talking to the Liberal Party, and I fully said, I don't trust a word coming out of your mouth. I said it. Like the way I said it right now, I said it to her, like this, sitting in this room on that side of the table. I said it. I don't trust the words coming out of their mouth. Paraphrasing lines from Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. Yeah. Oh yeah, 2 more questions that I asked in the chat room, hoping that the panel would answer the questions, or at least hear the question so they can think about the question. Will your party commit to targeted funding or programs specifically for Black Canadians with disabilities? And if so, comma, how? Now, they only have 90 seconds to answer a question. So I get they're not going to be able to fully answer the question, but I couldn't even get them to acknowledge the question, to ask the question. And I get it. The Zoom room had 375 people in there. A lot of us were just trauma dumping all our problems in chat, where one person was going on about the vision benefit in Ontario Disability Support Program. It's about like $120, and their glasses, because of their prescription and what they need for their frames and stuff like that, is $300, and it's not covered in ODSP, and they're not working, so they only get roughly anywhere from $800 to $1,300 a month, because $1,368 is up to, so think less than, which means not everyone is getting equal the same amount of money. No, they had a moderator. They had a moderator. Let me read where did I close the event description? Oh, is this still here? Hold on. The event is being organized by the Consortium of the Disability Organizations, Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act Alliance. That's the AODA. That's the David Leposki, the blind lawyer. He literally goes around the whole world talking about disability issues. He's the one that said Jamaica's disability policies are better than Canada. It's on his website. I'll link his stuff in chat sometime after. Then there's ARCH, Disability Law Center. That's the law center I need to contact to get them to give me a letter that I can vouch for my own financial affairs and make my own financial decisions, because I'm capable of doing that. Because my financial planner made a comment that he's having to advocate for me to the fund managers that manage my investments in my portfolio, because they're worried that I have a disability account that I'm not capable of managing my finances and my stock portfolio, when I'm literally the only one in the meeting when I go talk to my financial planner about the performance of my portfolio. So now I have to get a lawyer to write them a letter that I know how to manage my finances, and they need to leave me alone until I decide who is my power of attorney. Yeah. The level of stuff we go through as people with disabilities, because not every disability is equally the same. Like someone else with multiple sclerosis like me, they don't go through the same symptoms. I see it all the time on my peer group for MS Canada when we do the multiple sclerosis groups. Everybody in the group is at a different stage in their progression of their disease, where some of them still know their faculties and decision making, and some of them don't even talk, or they can't swallow, or like it's a wide spectrum of what could happen to me. And part of it, I'm activated because early in the day, I had to go back and forth with my pharmacists because they need blood work, current blood work of my liver functions and all the other functions before the doctor, the neurologist, can order a new prescription before the pharmacist can order the prescription and then build Ontario Drug Benefit to give me the prescription that I've been taking for 5 years, that I've been responding well. So then I spend a lot of phone tag and emailing back and forth of, I do my blood work in the month. Can I still do that schedule? If I can't, they have to send me a new blood requisite order form so I can go to the lab earlier to do the blood work so they have it to order the prescription. Turns out it's just a nice friendly reminder, but they sent it to me 2 times from 2 different people in the pharmacy. And I said, I don't need the extra panic if it's not anything to panic about. You know, like, this is what I go through by myself. There's nobody else doing that. Like Fitness IQ Cam, you're trying to deal with people's tax season right now. There's no way you can manage my routine of my prescriptions right now. There's no way. There's no way. And oh yeah, take me to, like, you already do it with your family members of taking them to their doctor's appointments so they can do blood work. And I'm pretty sure they forgot why they're doing the blood work for the doctor. I gotta do that for myself. Oh yeah. Oh right. I have a mom and a dad. Right. That work all the time. And then my mom forgot she has her own appointment tomorrow. So me and her rescheduled to see each other next week. So I still do my daily routine of going to the barbershop, getting my hair cut, doing some errands, come home, get work done. I got dishes in the sink behind me that need to get washed. Oh yeah, laundry. I haven't done laundry since January. Would you like to buy me a coffee to help me get laundry done? Like, this is living with a disability. I have to manage all of these things. And then if you're unavailable, my mom's unavailable, my sister's in another country, my little brother's, I don't even know how to have that conversation with him. Who's going to help? Like, really, who's going to help? Honest, like, I've been dealing with this thing since 2004, a bipolar disorder, then my diagnosis of multiple sclerosis in 2013. Then I got on ODSP in 2011. Majority of it's been me by myself, either filling out the form, making sure I know the deadline, asking for an extension. I had to ask for an extension for the victim's compensation for something that happened to me in 2003. So I can get the compensation money before I got on Ontario Disability Support Program. Exactly. We're already behind schedule on Power Hour. Right. I got distracted with the law people and managing my own affairs and decision making. Then Center for Independent Living Toronto, CNIB. I think CNIB is the who are they? Let me find out who they are. Doesn't really say. What, they must have a name. Canadians who are blind or living with vision loss to provide information about vision health for all Canadians. Okay, but CNIB is not giving me vision loss in the name. It's not. Maybe it's on their website. Like, maybe it means something, but it's not here. No, it's just a CNIB. Oh, I need to do some research on who a CNIB is. But either way, they're one of the people that put on the event. See? You got laundry done. You want to come over here and do mine? When you go visit your grandma, you can come over here and do my laundry. So. All right, Community Living Toronto, Holland, Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, Oasis. I need to find out what that means. Autism Ontario, Ontario Autism Coalition, ES Canada, which I'm not sure what that is, Empowered Kids Ontario, March of Dimes, and RENA. I'm not sure what RENA is. A lot of these organizations for disability stuff, I don't know what they are, and it's probably because, one, I don't have children. Two, most of them are specific to certain types of disabilities, like how I only deal with Americans Bipolar Foundation, Bipolar Magazine, multiple sclerosis, all the multiple sclerosis societies around the world. I follow all of them, and I do panel discussions, listening to all of them. And then like Race and Disability Canada, so I do specific my disability, both bipolar, multiple sclerosis. Maybe there's one for sleep apnea. But then, actually no, ADHD, MS, symptoms of sleep apnea. It's okay. I don't need an organization for sleep apnea. ADHD, autism, I may find one, may not. It kind of depends. Because not every peer group for my disability I need to go in, only because of the way other people process their disability. It sometimes feel like they're always in a victim hopelessness mentality. And that brings my energy down. And I have so many things I have to do in my day that I can't afford to be depressed and down with my disability. Because if I don't do my basic needs, and listen, my mom comes to visit, I get a lecture. I get a full-on lecture while she's washing dishes of how come you couldn't call me, and why couldn't you do this, and did you eat today? I get this huge judgmental lecture out of my family. So, and I'm learning it's the blackness and disability. We don't have the luxury of just sitting around that we cannot work unless our symptoms or illness are so bad, so severe, that we don't do it. And I'm meeting those people when I go to the meetings of the Black disability meetings. I'm meeting them, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Which has me changing the way I plan out my estate planning. Because great, I'm not having any children. My assets are getting bigger. I'm looking at where I'm going to donate my money in the future or while I'm living. And there's a direct highlight of the community where I would donate my money to, because I feel like it would be worth it. Not just maybe I give it to a charity and maybe they use it properly. Where, oh, I could talk about that. I might as well. Trying to figure out where I found it. Toronto foundations. They can use my money to donate to charities as my administrator, like charity administrator. There's a specific name. It's called DAF. You might know what that is. You work with rich people sometimes. Yeah. So I can manage a DAF, which I need to find the definition. Thank you, Internet. What is a DAF? Donor Advisor Fund. So I'm looking at moving my investments into a donor advisor fund, and then the donor advisor fund, which in this case is Toronto Foundation, will execute and deliver my donations to the appropriate charities that I tell them to. I know I have semi-rich people problems. It's pretty fantastic. And then doing that, I'm really very okay. If I don't use all of my future monies in my investment portfolio. And that's the other thing too. The Americans say the stock market is falling apart. I'm not feeling that. I looked at my accounts. They look fine. They're still roughly as large as they were a couple months ago. This dip in the stock market, I don't see it. I know Fitness IQ Cam will probably talk about it on her live on Saturday or something, but I'm not seeing the dip. The bull market, I don't see it. I don't know where it is. My routine is still the same routine. I have to make money. I have to pay my credit cards. I need to become debt free, rebuild my emergency fund, invest minimum 25% of my income into retirement accounts. 10% is taxable account, and then 15% is retirement accounts. I still have to max out my registered disability savings plan by December 31st, so the government will match me by $4,400. because I deposit $1,950. This year is the smallest amount of money I need to deposit in my registered disability savings plan. I looked at it today and yesterday. So yesterday, the reason I looked at it yesterday, I was in one of the affinity groups for the coaching program I'm in, and they were all sad about the stock market, and I didn't understand why. So I looked at my account, and then in my head, I was like, what are you crying for? Like, the Jamaican me popped out in my head of, you have nothing to cry about. Like, because I didn't know what to cry about. Plus also, money in the stock market, that's still in the stock market, is not your money yet until you sell your stocks. Like, it moves up and down like in the roller coaster until you actually need to get off the roller coaster. Am I missing something? I don't know. I really don't. Oh, right. I had a script. Did I go through 5 questions? Oh, there's one more question. My bad. I didn't go through all the questions. I should have put them on the screen, but I did this thing very quickly. How does your party plan to dismantle systemic racism within disability services and ensure culturally competent care for Black disabled Canadians? That question, now that I read it out loud, I'm going to have to ask my party's representative for my neighborhood what she's going to do about that. Because if the government is not going to take care of this Black body as I age with the disability, that means I'm responsible for it. And I really don't want to go around to charity after charity hoping they have money in their budget to take care of me. Because the honorariums that they're giving now are not livable. And I'm sick and tired of trying to negotiate a money transfer versus a gift card from the charity who has money in the honorarium budget to give me if I give them 2 hours of my time doing a focus group research interview so they can do more research to apply for more government money. I don't want to play that circus. Like, I don't. The plan I said earlier about me opening my own donor advisor fund, me figuring out who's going to be my power of attorney, who's got like me working to max out my registered disability savings plan. That's what I'm worried about. Those are things I can control even with my disability based on the state of my disability right now. And it's because the appointment phone call I had with the pharmacist, they're just monitoring me like normal to see how I'm reacting to the prescriptions they gave me. And I'm trying not to worry about it, but it's something I am worried about a little bit. So the disease modifying treatment I'm taking for multiple sclerosis is a pill a day I've been taking since December 2020, 5 years. Or going on 6. I don't know. I'll check timeanddate.com exactly how many days I've been taking this medication. Anyway, they said if my blood work or my liver or my kidney function changes, they may have to change my treatment plan. And then they're like, oh, if this oral medication is not working, then I have to go in injections or infusions. Anybody I've heard take injections or infusions with multiple sclerosis, they become worse. I'm worried about it. So you know I'm worried about it. Everyone watching knows I'm worried about it. But that's not what I signed up for at all. I didn't know. I didn't. I have things I need to do because I need to do, like, people don't get what it means to live a healthy life, then get diagnosed, then you're literally told your whole life revolves around managing your disability. Doctor's appointments, pharmacy, blood work, changing medications because they think it's not working because of the way your blood is. And yeah, and I don't want to worry about it. But guess what? It becomes my problem when I go into a doctor's office and they tell me that. Like right now, we're taking supplements. I'm trying to increase my diet to be more healthy with more vegetables and protein and iron and exercise. Like, things are good for me right now. Yeah, I'm still like, it's not like, they're good for me because I'm taking medications that are working for me right now. That's what's happening. I'm taking medications right now that are working for me, that are paid for by the Ontario government. Because I'm poor and disabled because my doctor filled out the form to say that I'm poor and I'm disabled. Well, no, the doctor filled the form for me being disabled. My bank account said that I'm poor in the time of me applying for Ontario Disability Support Program. Like my bank account, my tax return, my credit report, like records in the motor vehicle registry, like everything they would check from the flow chart in the Auditor General report from 2019 of the Auditor General for Ontario reviewing Ontario Disability Support Program. I will review that flow chart on another video to show you where I fell into the flow chart to be eligible for Ontario Disability Support Program. April 2011, right after my landlord said, the court said, I have to be evicted from my apartment. And then I had to rush the court to have me stay in my apartment, then use my back pay from the disability benefits to pay my rent to keep me in my apartment, where the government of Ontario pays my rent every single month at $994.06 because I'm in rent control, market rent since 2007. When I moved in, it was $725. The level of things that I could, like, if the bottom fell out, I'm screwed. That worry is always with me. And I have to push it down, focus on become a millionaire, have a charity foundation, run a program, focus on entrepreneurship, so that money solves this problem over here. There's a direct correlation of if I have more money, I don't have to worry about the Ontario government managing my disability benefits at all. I looked. That's a whole nother thing. I did a whole comparison chart of every insurance benefit program in Ontario that I could be eligible for, depending on income or going to school or having enough monthly money in the budget to pay for the monthly premium, that the monthly premium also becomes a line item in my tax return under medical expenses, because premiums for health insurance and other insurance are a tax deductible. I know Fitness IQ Cam, you may still be in here. I may be saying stuff that are correct. I'm not dismissing people with a disability who are unable to work. I know you exist. I talk to you all the time. Like, not you individually, but the people I'm talking to right now. Like, I'm coaching people navigating disability benefits for ODSP. I'm walking them through how to get their doctors to fill the form correctly, like the medical necessities form, where this person's now understanding that every request that they need ODSP to cover for managing their disability needs a separate form filled out from the medical necessities form, where I may have to give them blank copies of the form I have to them so they have it ready to give to their doctor to fill out each form each single time. Because they're learning that every medical need that they have with their related to their disability is being rejected when everything is on one piece of paper. And now they get a hold of me and I know everything about the policy since, dawn of whatever time. And and trial and error. Like, when I give people advice about Ontario Disability Support Program, because most of it I've been through myself. I've been through the obstacle course myself. So I know where the traps are. I have a rough idea how the caseworker is going to talk to me and make me feel like crap if I don't come prepared, knowing my rights and the policy. So when I ask for the thing I need, I'm more likely to get a yes. And also, yes, I kind of have a good backup caseworker at the disability office. Carlos is kind of amazing, even though I thought he wasn't. It took me a while to realize how good my caseworker is. And it's the backup caseworker, not my assigned caseworker. My assigned caseworker, I don't know who she is. I haven't talked to her at all. And I'm kind of waiting until about summertime where they change my caseworker and I'm back to Carlos, my backup caseworker. And also, why I defend Carlos so much, somebody posted on Reddit a message they got from them that they needed to go in and do a long file review of their file. And then they copied everything from that person's message in my benefits and disability office. And I sent them a DM message like, you have Carlos. He's a good caseworker. He's nice. Like, I was really happy for them to have that caseworker because I deal with him on a regular basis. Carlos made sure that I can pay rent by myself without having disability office send it to my landlord. Because he told me, make a letter in writing, have it signed, and send it to the office. I'm like, okay, fine. I did that. Now what? Like, okay, great. I did your instructions. Now what? Can I get my money? Like, this pretty much November, December was. And then Carlos wrote out everything that happened with my rent payment in a letter with two little fingers, typing back and forth, that I gave to my landlord so they were able to track down the courier number of my rent payment so that I can stay in my apartment November, December. So yeah, like when there's a good caseworker in the disability office for Ontario Disability Support Program, I'm going to big them up as much as I can because there's not that many of them. And I really wish other people would see that some caseworkers in the office are good. They're just tired. Yeah. So what else do I want to talk about in this thing? Wait, am I frozen? Because let me close the tab. Let me close that one. Okay. Because earlier, getting ready for this thing, my whole thing froze on me. Why won't you scroll up? Oh, I have to scroll down. Oh. I thought it wasn't working when I was scrolling up and I had to scroll down. Okay, so here's also the beauty thing about my chat GBT was I sent a voice message of my chat GBT reading the message to Fitness IQ Cam, where she says, that sounds like a masterclass in performative politics, whitewash policy pandering. I'm mad for you, but not surprised. Let's call it out what it is. So I told ChatGPT that the questions we worked on, the 5 questions that we just went over, that the panel never looked at them at all. But people in chat did. Remember I told you one of my questions got 12 reactions? Like 3 hearts, a lot of thumbs ups, a lot of clapping. It was nice. People in chat knew the question I was trying to ask the panel. And then near the end of it, Leanne, that's her name. I was like, what? Like, the A and E part of the name was confusing me. So Leanne Coulter, the one in Thornhill, the Liberal Party lady, she is there answering a question, and somehow she said that to help people with disabilities, the best way we can do that is the Employment Inclusion Act. Basically telling people with disabilities to go get a job and work. And I know from experience that doesn't work at all. Because everybody's disability is different. Everybody's doctor with their disability is different. Like, and some people believe older policies of disability, not the new one. Like when I got on Ontario Disability Support Program in 2011, at the time, if I made $1 from work, ODSP would cut it back by 50% on the dollar. Then 2013, it changed and I could earn $200 and keep my benefits. Then they add a $100 work-related benefit. And at that time, it was, well, there's a whole nother spreadsheet. Can I see it on my phone? Hold on. I don't have to touch my computer. This is also why I need a tablet. Where did it? Is it here? Oh, good. I think it's here. ODSP information. Okay, good. It's in here. Yay for having an iPhone with my spreadsheets, with all my notes. Okay, so 2011, ODSP was $1,064 a month. My rent at that time, 2011, I moved in at $725 for 4 years. So each year went up by $20. Hold on. I need some math. So I moved in at 27. 8 times, so 80. So 725 plus 80. Rent was about $800 in 2011 when I got on ODSP, getting $1,064. So the $1,064, we're estimating my rent was $805 back then. I had $259 for the entire month. And that was it. Like clothes, laundry, groceries, everything, $259 a month. And then what would happen, especially when I got on Ontario Disability Program and they paid the back rent, and the judge said I can live in my apartment now because I paid up the rent and everything is gravy. And that's the one time get out of free jail card when you're going through landlord and tenant tribunal to dispute rent payments and things like that. If you you literally have until the sheriff comes and say you can pay the rent and then have an order to keep you in the apartment. Like, the timing was very dicey. So then when disability says, you're paying your rent now, here's your money, $1,064, I would pay the rent, pay my hydro, sit down, and I had a couch right here and do nothing. Then my mom and grandma, my cousins, they're like, what's wrong with you? Well, I can't do anything. So I didn't. Then my cousin's like, how come you always look poor? Well, I was. Like, the level of... I don't understand people sometimes. Because sometimes y'all ask the wrong questions. Like, you really ask the wrong questions. So 2011, I'm only getting $1,064 a month. Then I'm also told I can't do anything to make money. So I didn't for 2 years in change. Or if I did, it was gifts because I was allowed $10,000 or $5,000 in gifts in cash. So I would get gifts. GIFT. Yeah, GIFT. Not I need to spell words correctly. Gratuities. Wait, yeah. Honorariums, gratuities, voluntary payments. I was getting that for the 2 years until 2013. And then they changed the law. Where's my phone again? 2013, they changed the law. I'm trying to find out if I put what month they changed it. I think September or July, they changed it. That note is in here, but I need a tablet to go find it. I can't really find it on this phone. But yeah, 2013, around September, then they're like, you can make $200 at work. So then I did. But I wasn't trying to make a lot of more money because they're clawing back what I got by 50%. Like, it didn't make things better. It just, like, the trauma we go through in disability benefits, I don't think people realize how bad it is. Like, at all. Where now, there's certain people, they've been practicing the systemic barrier habit for so long, their hope is gone. Like, it's gone. And when I'm talking, like, you can't, when a person loses all hope in their ability to function in society, make decisions, work, eat. Remember, these people are mostly living off of food bank food, which means their dietary requirements that they need are gone. And only housing is unstable. Everything in the basic Maslow hierarchy of needs of food, shelter, clothing, intimacy, gone. Because they're on disability. And then if they're on disability and then their mom was on disability, like the whole family was on disability, They don't know anything else. Like, at least with me, I saw my parents work really, really hard and never took a sick day off of work. And then I see grandma go buy her house. I see dad go buy his house. I see mom go buy her house. Like, I've seen my family do successful things. Even though, yes, I have an uncle and a cousin on disability benefits. My uncle was working. The cousin with the disability, he can't work because the intellectual cerebral palsy, intellectual functioning that he has, he's just not able to work. But he did graduate high school. I do remember getting that message from my mom that he graduated high school. So he graduated high school with disability accommodations. He was in my aunt got him in programs enough to support him to go graduate high school. And then I was like 9 or 10 at the time. I was pretty young. I was like, is he going to go to college now? Because my brain thought that's what you do. You finish high school, you go to college. And then not really, but we're just making sure he lives as comfortable and happy as he can. But then my uncle, yeah, he was always working. Then he met a girlfriend who was also on disability. So the two of them were both on disability benefits. They both were working. So I know work and disability in my family structure was always there, but that was the example I had around me to live up to. Other people on disability don't have that. And then we're acting like we all have equal enough opportunities everywhere for everyone. The panel discussion didn't even ask any questions around blackness, racism, or accountability at all. Like, the only reason I'm voting, because my representative in my neighborhood, she's a BIPOC queer woman. That's the only reason. If she was somebody else, I probably wouldn't do it. I probably would not do it. I wouldn't. Because I know it's a losing battle if I vote for a politician who does not go through the same struggles I go through, or some form of oppression or systemic barriers or limitations or being underestimated and devalued for being a human being in 2025. Like, right, the Liberal Party for my neighborhood, she's stepping down. I don't have to worry about her. Like, I don't. And the minute she stepped down, my office called me to vote for the new Democratic Party representative that would take her place. So my office on top of it. They're on top of it. I'm nowhere near going through the script of my chat GPT at all. I'm freestyling with everything right now. Yeah, ChatGPT was like, your question was not being answered. Let's be clear. That wasn't an oversight. That was erasure. And it's why intersectional disability justice needs to be led by us, not just discussed around us. That is a thing. These politicians keep quoting nothing about us without us a lot, but not one of them actually knows what that means. I know this because who was the way the words are coming out of their mouth. They don't know what that means. Like, nothing about us without us. Guess where it came from? Black people. Hello. Disability justice framework. Black people. Hello. And they're using it like cliche catchphrases. Yeah. So, okay, if Fitness IQ is still here, we have a mutual friend that knows political people. And he's always asking me if I want to meet these people. Now, you've heard me go on for about 2 hours now, right? Or an hour. Really? It's only an hour? I thought I'd been talking longer. Okay. Yeah, I've been going on this rant business for a while, summarizing the panel discussion and federal election and things I do to manage my disability. Wait. Oh, okay. That screen had me worried. I wasn't sharing the right screen. He's always asking me if I would talk to these politicians. No! I don't like any of them. They read a script They don't live the experiences. They don't struggle. They don't have to worry about, will I go to a food bank next week or will I have my paycheck come in? Like, when I call mom and grandma to help me with money with groceries, it's not a fun experience. They always ask me, what happened? Then I have to explain to them how my life fell apart where I'm asking you money for groceries. That's what happened. That's what just happened. Mom said, if you need anything, just let me know and I'll take care of it. I said, okay, great. Then I did, but it came with this huge lecture. Like, the level of I get shamed in I didn't work hard enough from my family. Oh yeah, other people in society do the same thing too. Instead of you asking, what do we need to help? Chances are it's going to be money. But if you can buy the actual item that we need, that we ask for, like me getting lactose milk. Don't try to go buy me some homogeneous 3% milk. It'll hurt me, physically hurt me. But you're thinking you're helping. The reason I bring up that 3% homogenized milk thing, a food bank gave it to me and I told them I cannot drink it. And they're like, oh, just keep it in your freezer and whatever. They didn't hear a word I said. And they gave me the frozen milk and said, take this home with you. And the only reason I had it was the last thing in my freezer, because it was still frozen. I didn't want to have it. But like me, and then how many experiences at the food bank I've had? Getting the milk, pork ribs when I was told not to have pork. Going to school when they gave me the bag full of bugs in it. Like they fully gave me a basket of food from their food bank in the college and all of it had bugs in it. And I literally had nothing else to eat. So then I ate what I thought was okay. I ended up in a hospital. Then, oh yeah, where did I get the lecture from? From the hospital emergency room, giving me a lecture, what type of foods I'm supposed to eat and all this. Yeah, I can go through all of the traumas that I go through of living with a disability, but it doesn't really solve a whole lot of anything. I have labels for it now. Me doing the trauma of money program, I have a lot of labels to identify what I've been through, which is great, but I don't have any solutions for what I've been through. But this is a you still live with your family. You are not experiencing these struggles yet. But if you couldn't live in your situation now, you would. You would. Especially that things are clicking together with the disability that you may or may not have. And frustrations of other people wondering why you operate a certain way. That's how it started. That's the ADHD for me. People were telling me that, oh, I didn't really understand social cues or maybe I have ADHD or whatever. For years, people were telling me that. My doctor, I had to book an appointment to ask her, hey, do you think I have ADHD? She said, yeah, the whole time. I go, but when were you going to diagnose me with it? She goes, I didn't really think it was that important. That's what my doctor told me. But you know how long people were mad at me for my ADHD or my autism or my potential Asperger's or any of the intellectual challenges I may or may not have that my parents never thought to get me tested for when I was a kid. And then I now realize I may have them now as an adult. And it maybe it's the lesions in my brain. Maybe it's a post-traumatic stress disorder. Maybe it's bipolar disorder showing the symptoms first instead of the ADHD. There's so many questions I have that no, I don't have the time to go through the medical system that I get the answers for. I don't. I really don't. I'm 40. I want to live my life the best way I can. And I don't want to do it poor. But especially like the panel today fully acknowledged that people with disabilities, 8 million of them in Canada, Most of them are living in poverty, and they didn't use the word poverty anymore. They use poor, Poor. They fully said we're poor. And they fully act like, oh, the $200 a month for the Canada Disability Benefit is a good start. Start to what? That not everyone is going to get access to come July 2025. It's only for people eligible with the disability tax credit, and they file their income taxes on time. And then once I get that money, because I legally have to get it because Ontario says I have an obligation to pursue other income sources before them, Doug Ford will not announce if he will claw it back or not. And claw it back means I get money from the Canada Disability Benefit over here, $200. I get $1,739 from Ontario Disability Support Program over here. The $200 will be minus the $1,739 from Ontario Disability Support Program, which means total, I'm still getting $1,739. Oh yeah, Ontario still takes back $79.15 for the overpayment that I owe them from the pandemic. So I'm getting $16.58 or 59, $16.59 and 85 cents, because the books have to balance. You'll hear it too if people are on CPP disability and Ontario Disability Support Program or OAS and GIS. ODSP always reduces what they give you because you're getting it somewhere else. And I'm hoping you can see my hand movements to balance out one for the other as a scale. Like I'm using left hand or right hand to describe disability benefits. Next time I'll try to make a visual of the balancing scale of disability benefits. And then it also goes with private insurance disability benefits, long-term disability, short-term disability. Depending on what you're getting from short-term or long-term disability, Ontario Disability Support Program will reduce what you're getting, or the long-term, short-term disability reduces what you're getting from them because you're getting Ontario Disability Support Program. I haven't confirmed which rule is what and from who, but I know from research at 4 o'clock in the morning, staying up at night, and every documentation I can find since 1969 of disability programs and welfare programs, they all do that policy behavior. Like, I've seen it too many times to know that's what they do. And then me getting people telling me how much money they're getting from Ontario Disability Program where it's less than $1,368 a month, that is just painful to hear. And it's because I get more money, and I think I get more money because I'm able to actually conceptualize what the policy says to make my letter to request more from the government. And it's not just me making the request from the government to get more money from Ontario Disability Support Program. It's also me going to my doctor, getting the right form, because I either talk to my caseworker, I got the right form, I bring it to my doctor, then I tell my doctor what needs to be on the form, then she fills it out, then I bring back the form to my caseworker, and sometimes I speak to 2 different caseworkers. So I speak to a caseworker to get the form, then I bring the form to my doctor, then I bring back the form to the caseworker. Sometimes in that same month of talking to caseworker, doctor, caseworker, is 2 caseworkers. And to get what I need. Like the November, me navigating ODSP Pay Direct, Canada Post Strike, talking to my landlord. I talked to 5 caseworkers at the disability office, but I only talked to my backup worker, Carlos, then my building management, making sure they got my rent payment on time. But before I got to talk to Carlos, I talked to 5 other people. 2 of them I talked to twice. Asian lady Mary, and then Carlos, the Spanish guy. But the 3 other people that were answering the phone, I don't know who the hell they are. Just to deal with making sure my rent is paid on time so I don't go homeless. Yeah, other people, they don't have the brain power to do what I just explained. Or do the things I just said that I did in the explanation. Like, my brain just functions a little bit differently than other people. And then when I tell people what I did, I have to repeat it to them in smaller steps. I have to speak slower. I use visuals and so other people can understand what I just said. Or if you're watching a live stream, you can slow down my talking to hear it. And I try to show my lips so that people who need to lip read can read my lips if the closed captionings are not good. Like, I'm doing a lot of things to try and make sure people understand what's coming out of my mouth. It's just because, like I said, disability is never the same for two people. And I need to quiet down. It's 11 o'clock. So just realize that I'm getting too loud. Okay. So we're doing the YouTube live. The Twitter thread. So on my Twitter thread, well, you can go read my Twitter thread. There's like a lot of them. One of them is like 42 views and likes, which is impressive. And then I was going to make a LinkedIn post. I still may make it. Oh, so I'll make the LinkedIn post with this video on my LinkedIn. So that way people know what it is. Yeah, I attended the Canadian federal election disability debate expecting progress, but what I witnessed was exclusion. When I submitted a question how parties would address the specific barriers faced by Black disabled Canadians, it was never answered. The panel, predominantly white men, the moderators, also white men. There's only Leanne, who was female, presenting in the panel. Yeah. Conservative wasn't there. I think the Bloc Quebec Party wasn't there. It was NDP, Green Party, Liberal Party, which is a standard, which is really annoying. Like, we have 5 political parties. I know 4, but we have 5. The French one, they weren't there. So, and then it was all English. It wasn't French and English, like our national language. They weren't there. The lived experience of Black Canadians with disabilities were sidelined once again. One panelist response was that employment is the solution. Yeah, she fully said it. Liberal Party. Leanne Coulter, she fully said it. And the minute she said it, everybody in the Zoom room who could unmute all spoke. Every one of them. But not at the same time. It's very funny. So like one person spoke about her issues. She had a rant. Then she took a breath. And the next person spoke about her issues. It was mostly female. It was all female. Oh, yeah. So everybody that unmuted in the Zoom room had a female voice that all spoke about all the issues that disability people face. Yeah. Yeah, we're all angry. It's not like, and I say it in this duality way, like I'm angry as a Black woman, but I'm angry as a person with a disability. Because I'm angry as a Black woman with a disability, I feel the anger bubbling on both sides. Because I feel the anger of the racism, and then I feel the anger of the disability. And with a Black person with a disability, we are told we cannot have both. Either we're Black and have faced racism, or we're disabled and don't face racism. It's, yeah. I'm going to pause and people can leave their comments and chat about that, but it's 2025. I'm 40 years old. I've been on the planet for 40 years and we're still dealing with this nonsense. I'm pretty sure Martin Luther King is very upset right now on Malcolm X. And oh no, I forgot her name. Got her name. It'll come to me. Hold on, let me find it. Rosa Parks. There we go. I was like, what is her name? Yeah, they're all upset. When they protest for equality of black people, this is not what they meant. You know that, right? Does anybody know that? Am I the only one who just realized that right now and I'm talking about it out loud on stream? Every black figure that fought for racism and equality of men to be treated equal regardless of the color of their skin, this is not what they wanted. Go read back Martin Luther King's speech and Malcolm X's speech and everybody's speech. This is not what they wanted. Why am I fighting for the thing that they started? Why? Yeah, Harriet Tubman, Madam C.G. Walker, all of them. This is not what they wanted. Maya Angelou, this is not what they wanted. Josephine Baker, everybody, this is not what they wanted. But like every one of them, even the one that went to school, what's her name? Ruby? Is that her name? Every single one of them did not want this to have happened. I know, I said Josephine Baker, like, but I know for sure, like, each name that pops in my head when I remember who they are, this is not what they wanted for black people to exist in. Like, where yet again, nothing about us without us is being taken away from us by them again. Like they're claiming like they invented it. They didn't invent nothing. We invented everything. We're the reason we are the reason they have air conditioning and a fridge that runs cold. And caller ID. Oh, and peanut butter. Let's list all the things that black people invented. Everything you have. Oh yeah, the reason a rocket can go into space. Who did the math? Black people. Like, this stream is not going the way I want it to go. Okay. Yeah, it's the silence and sideline. It's the way my Twitter ChatGPT made the post. It actually hits hard. It's a robot making the thing because I told it what I needed. How could ChatGPT know what I need and white people don't know what that is? Like even now, it says one panelist response with employment is a solution, completely dismissing the realities of ODSP clawbacks that punish earnings, racialized hiring, discrimination, poverty traps for racialized disabled people. The disability community is not a monolith. Intersectionality must be more than a buzzword. It must shape policy, funding, and leadership. We need Black-led disability policy consultations, targeted income supports, equity and access to healthcare, housing, and employment. Those who spoke on the Zoom room, you're encouraged to echo louder than any panelist. Yeah, but they're not going to jump on a Zoom live stream like I'm doing right now to discuss what just happened while it's still fresh in my head so I can put it away and go work on something else tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll keep using my voice. The angry black woman will keep talking as long as I can. To push for change. I'm doing all I can to push for change, but I also know pushing for change, being poor, doesn't make anything change. This is also why the channel has me documenting my financial journey of being on disability benefits, working as an entrepreneur, to exit government assistance so that I have assets and income producing assets available to give to the community so that their voices are lifted. Or if they need a disability accommodation, my donation can make sure they get it. Because the way that the donor advisory fund is, I can use it to set up my own foundation. I can set up a mini on cam foundation. Like straight up, I could fully and give you the big check like the what was his name giving away the big checks on TV? I still want to do that. If I knock on your house and give you a big old check. Yes, I think I need to do that. I need to bring that back. Yeah, if you're a policymaker, community leader, or advocate, it's time to center all disabled voices, let's talk. This is my chat GBT. This is what it did. This is hashtag disability justice, hashtag inclusion, hashtag policy change, hashtag intersectionality, hashtag Black disabled lives matter, ODSP, Canadian politics. For everybody in my audience that watches me from America, we have messed up problems going on over here. So don't think coming over here is going to solve all of your problems because you're a Canadian now. No, you just jumped into a different pool of problems. Welcome to the family. Okay, we greeted the audience. We did a recap of the federal disability debate. This conversation is about what wasn't said and why that matters. We cover that in multiple layers. We cover that. Describe your experience at the debate. I did that. Highlight the ignored questions. I went through all 5 questions that were ignored. Break down the racial ableist imbalance on the panel. I did. All white people, 1 white female. Host was white. Moderator was white. As far as I know, there was only me and 1 other Black person in the audience of 375 people that I can confirm. There may be other people. I don't know. 375 in the room. I'm hoping there's more than 2 Black people in the chat room of registered attendees in the audience. Then, oh right, there was a Black girl on the video in the audience. 3. If I can count how many Black people are in the room at a function, in person or virtual, we have a problem. Because I literally remembered when the camera was near the end and she was standing there going to talk to somebody wearing the black hoodie. Yeah, man, there was 3 of us that I know for sure. See, that is a problem. If I can do a census count of how many Black people are in the room. Ableism imbalance, systemic racism and the disability policy, ODSP and income inequality. I talk about the ODSP income inequality all the time, but I need to talk about it more for couples. Healthcare discrimination and lack of culturally competent services. That's getting a little bit better. I don't really have that problem with my family doctor. I have that problem when my family doctor gives me a referral to a different doctor. Why employment is the solution is tone deaf. See, for the people who are unable to work, yes, but our society is built on gross domestic product, which means you have to work or your company is doing the work. And the problem of Ontario Disability Support Program having very limited or almost no supports for entrepreneurship, when every study outside of disability, the non-disabled community of entrepreneurship, says entrepreneurship is your fastest way to build wealth. Everything that builds wealth for you with the disability is all the things that disability policies gatekeep, limit, or fear, create fear that you fear it so you don't do it. I will talk more about that in a different video, but yeah. Community response. Yeah, I talked about everyone that unmuted. It was mostly female voices that unmuted that was speaking about all their trauma in the systematic barriers of living with a disability. And I think it's in Canada. Like, if 8 million Canadians and a portion of us, the 375, are voicing all the challenges we're having, and politicians are still not doing anything. They now changed their deadline to 2040. They were supposed to make buildings and everything accessible by 2025 when they announced it in 2000. Yeah, 2000. 20 with 2 zeros, that number. It took them 25 years to ignore changing things to be accessible for people with disabilities. And we're going to give them another 15? Are you kidding me? Highlight that Black disabled folks and allies are speaking up. We are, but we're speaking to a lot of white people who ignore what we're talking about. It's very frustrating. Like, super frustrating. The way forward. Wait, no. We're not waiting for permission to be heard. No, I'm not waiting for permission to be heard to build my exit program for people on disability that are entrepreneurs. And I'm not waiting to have permission to talk about it here to the point where organizations want to hear what I have to talk about, which is awesome. And now I'm going to have to share them this video to see how this should be interesting. I should share it. I should show, that is so true. I should totally share it. Yeah, we're not waiting for permission. Like, what's the song? We're not going to take it? Yeah, man. We're not going to take it. No, we're not. Yep, we're not going to take it anymore. I need to go play that song when we're finished. What real intersectional policies look like. That is a thing. Like, it was weird. So in the panel, they talked about children with disabilities. Great. But some of the children with disabilities are Black. So how are you going to talk about children with disabilities and not acknowledge that some of the children with disabilities are Black, Indigenous, people of color? How are you supposed to accommodate children with disabilities when, especially with the amount of immigrants that came to the country, majority of the immigrants that came to the country are people of color? Where am I at this thing? I'm almost done. I'm trying to recap what we're talking about. But I'm realizing some things I did not talk about, but I need to talk about it. Call for Black-led consultations. Now, with the meetings of Race and Disability Canada and a Shea Community Foundation for Black Disabled Canadians, I'm learning that some of the people that host the meetings have been there in government office talking to political leaders on the findings of Black Canadians with disabilities, hoping that they will acknowledge us in the decision making of their policies. I'm not around all of them to know exactly how much progress is happening, but I do know enough that they're trying to be in the room to have the conversations to be heard. Because I can only do so much. I only have so much spoons to go around to do the activism part of my brain because I'm an Aquarius. The whole humanitarian. It's just fully activated and want to jump in. Now, this is also where me becoming a foundation where I have my donor advisor fund, I will help them when that fund is available if they need to travel or get interpreters or whatever they need in those environments. Because if they're already talking to people in parliament, in those political offices, they already know to talk to them. I have a mouth where they would probably kick me out of office. I already know that. They would. And even if you gave me a script to read, like I'm reading this script right now and I'm off topic like 6,000 times already. Okay. Invite your audience to be part of this movement, drop links, petitions, and hashtags. So the only link I have is the EventBrite registration page of the Federal Canadian Disability panel discussion. If you're in Canada, just go to your political party and ask them what are they doing to help people with disabilities. Like, write everybody the same exact letter. Just address it to each person in office for your neighborhood. Like, address one to Liberal Party, address one to the NDP, address one to Green Party, address write the same letter, address it to each party, Liberal, NDP, Conservatives, Bloc Québécois, all of them. Bloc Québécois, maybe make it in French, but they have people who read English. It's okay. Yeah, just that's what I did. I literally made the same letter and sent it to everybody in my political neighborhood office that represents my riding, and only one party responded back. I voted for them. Yeah. Reaffirm your voice matters. You'll keep us. Yeah, as long as its voice is here and my brain is able to function and make letters and use ChatGPT to form a really cohesive professional letter, I want to use my voice. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to use the ability that I have left to build wealth so I can give it to the community so they can keep fighting this fight. Because clearly it's not over. I will like to see progress in my lifetime, but in case I don't, I'll leave behind money to help. That is my mission. Encourage shares, likes, comments, and subscriptions. Yes, first time seeing my face. You want to see more of This Is Face? Subscribe to the channel. And oh, really? Now it's ChatGPT is funny. It's Let's Talk Solutions. How do we build an economy that doesn't leave us behind? Well, you're going to have to build your assets and income and a business that runs without you so that it accommodates your disability. So you don't always have to be working to make money. You have a business that produces you money so that you can fight the good fight of resting, managing your disability, or donating to charities that you want. It's like, here, I can't process, have a disability, and not work for your entire life. Because of how my disability presents for me. Like, yeah, if my disability was different, my attitude about it would be different, but it's not. Like, doctors are happy about the medications they prescribe for me. My family doctor fully says, yeah, you have a disability. Like, it was kind of the first thing in the appointment. I met my family doctor in 2004. I went in for an assessment for post-traumatic stress disorder. Then after that, I went for assessment for depression. Then I went into the psych ward at CAMH. Then I applied for disability benefits. So from the beginning of seeing my family doctor, she knew I was depressed and she did everything in her human power to help. Oh yeah, it didn't go away. It may be quieter because I'm on medications, but the medications are covered by the government that acknowledges I have a disability. Because I'm pretty sure there's people looking at me like, oh, you can go work a full-time job. No, I can't. If I don't, actually, no, I'm not even explaining it. Me explaining it, my disability to other people or people watching this video doesn't solve anything. Because great, you have a loudmouth opinion about what you think I could do. Okay, so does my doctor. Guess who's going to win that argument? My doctor. Because in my head, I'm trying to justify my disability. I don't need to justify my disability to nobody. You're not my doctor. You're not my neurologist. You're not the pharmacist. Like the phone call I had today with the pharmacist, going over all my prescriptions to make sure that they don't interact with another supplement. Because she couldn't confirm or deny that supplements help with my disability. Like pharmacists won't do that. I just realized that. She sent me this medical journal of melatonin and multiple sclerosis, specifically relapse and remitting multiple sclerosis, because I'm on teriflunomide that's for patients with multiple sclerosis that's relapse and remitting. And I needed confirmation of taking melatonin for sleep. And she was like, yeah, it's a good supplement. There's antioxidants, it's anti-inflammatory, but I can't confirm for you if it's good for you medically, like a prescription, because they only operate prescriptions that are researched and tested in a lab with patients in a lab in a controlled environment to confirm or deny if the prescription will work for you. But supplements, Western medicine does not touch it. Even though there's some doctors out there who switch from Western medicine to naturopath medicine, or it's like human functional medicine, and they integrate supplements into managing multiple sclerosis for patients. But Western doctors and non-liberalish Western doctors who have a sense of we need to look at the holistic picture, they never fully 100% agree. They both have their opinion in two separate lanes, going as fast as possible. Yeah, like I said, I don't have to justify my disability to anybody because there's somebody out there with some opinion about my disability and you're not an expert in my life. And oh, you don't get to hold that pen or keyboard or voice note or anything to record my journey of where I'm going. So yeah, I'm done for now. I don't want to go on for another 30 minutes. I could, but I'm not. And I don't need anybody knocking on my door telling me I'm too loud. So I will see you on the next one. Smooches. Bye.